Hello and welcome to day 13 of 30 days of Lightroom. Today we're going to show you the difference between editing RAW photos and JPEGs. Just a hint, RAW photos give you a lot more capability. Let's go ahead and jump in. Hello and welcome back to our series where we teach you literally everything you need to know about Lightroom Classic in 30 days. And today we're talking about RAW images versus JPEG. Now, this is going to be something that's a setting on your camera. So when you're photographing images, you can usually choose between RAW and JPEG. Now, my personal suggestion is just always shoot in RAW. The only downside is that files take up a little bit more space, but the amount of editing capability you have in post-production, in my opinion, really makes up for that. The biggest things are going to be exposure and white balance. And white balance is like how cool or warm your image looks. Now, if you don't get that right photographing with a JPEG, that can actually be very difficult to correct in post-production. With a RAW image, it's actually incredibly easy because that information is not baked into the file. You can change the white balance at any time, and it's going to make your images look better most of the time. Not to mention, you're just capturing more information in your highlights, midtones, and shadows. So if you need to, for instance, bring back information in your sky, maybe it was a little bit too bright, you're going to be able to do that better in a RAW photograph. So we got two great examples for you. We've got a RAW image and a JPEG image. You're going to be able to download both of these totally free. Just click on the link right down below, and we're going to go ahead and show you the differences between the editing capabilities of RAW and JPEG. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into Lightroom Classic. So here we are in Lightroom. You can see we have two images. We have our NEF. This is a Nikon RAW file, and then we have a JPEG. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start off by editing our Nikon RAW file. Go ahead and click there and hit D for develop. Now with this, there's a lot we can do because we have information in the color temperature. We can make it warmer or cooler, and we have a lot of information in the highlights, midtones, and shadows. So we can really improve this quite a bit. So our color temperature, you're going to see right here, this is the first thing we're taking a look at. This is also known as white balance. Now here you can see you have a slider. You can make your image cooler or warmer. And over here you actually have a number. Now what does this number mean? This is the degrees Kelvin of the white balance of your photograph. So this white balance is not permanently baked into your photograph. You can change it at any time. You can also go right here and change these settings just like you would in your camera. Most cameras have all these settings, like a daylight setting, okay? You can click there, or you can go into as shot. This will be the white balance it was actually photographed as. And you can always warm this up a little bit and change this at any point in time. So that's one big thing to note. Here with a RAW image, white balance can be changed at any time. Now let's go ahead and real quick, we're gonna take a look at this JPEG here, okay? We're gonna take a look at the JPEG, and you're gonna see first big change we see here is the color temperature. Okay, we still have a slider, but see there's no number here, meaning that it doesn't register the actual white balance of this photograph because a JPEG just takes all of the color information and light information and compresses it. So you're not able to change these things individually afterwards. So you can make it a little bit cooler or a little bit warmer, but what's gonna start to happen is this is not actually changing the white balance of your photo. It's literally just putting like a warming filter or a cooling filter. So the result is not nearly as natural. You get some very unnatural results like this. Now you can still go here and you can see our menu is very different. Instead of having the settings for the actual white balances, I have auto, okay, I've got custom, there we go, and I've got as shot, and I can just change these sliders. But again, this is kind of like adding a warming or cooling filter rather than actually adjusting the white balance. So that's one of the biggest changes. All right, let's go back here and we're gonna do a little bit more editing with our RAW image. There we go, D for our develop module. So you can see I've just made it a little bit warmer. My color temperature, I think it's looking great. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and click here on auto, and we're gonna see I've got a lot of information I can pull from the shadows, midtones, and highlights. And you can see adjusted my highlights and my shadows. Everything is looking really good. Now, I want to take this a bit farther, honestly. I want to draw more attention to our subject because they're just a little bit dark, but they're kind of the most important part of the image. So we're going to go here to our masking tools. There we go. And we're going to just start off with a radial gradient. We're just going to click and drag out There we go, just like this. Now, of course, you can create a radial gradient with a JPEG also, but here where I go and adjust my exposure, for instance, and maybe I bring up my shadow level, well, I'm going to be editing with the full capability of the raw photo. So I can push these levels farther, but still get beautiful natural results. Like, that's looking great. Okay, now let's go ahead and create a mask. We're going to go to select people, and let's just go ahead and select this person. There we go. We're going to hit create mask right here. And then I'm going to make her just a little bit brighter than everything else. And we're going to bring up the shadows even more. So it's just like a really nice, beautiful photo. There we go. Now, with all of our masks, you have this little option here. You can just turn them off and on. So let's go ahead and click there. There's a before and after with these masks. So I brightened it up quite a bit actually, but it still looks really natural. And that's because we're editing with a raw image. Okay. I want to do some color work here as well. So let's go ahead and get off our masks for now. We're going to go ahead and close this down, and we're going to go into our color mixer. I love this color mixer because what you can do is just click here on mixer, okay? And then you're going to have hue sliders, saturation sliders, and luminance sliders. But here's the little trick here. This little icon, you can click there, and then you simply hover over your image, and you click and drag up or down, and it's gonna move the hue of wherever you click. So I kind of want to make it look like, you know, warm fall day. So literally all you have to do is just click on the color. I just hit undo. Just click on the color that you want to change, and we're gonna click and drag that down, and you can see it's actually moving the hue sliders for me that are associated with that color. Now I want to make it a little bit brighter, so we're gonna click here on luminance, click here and drag that up, and then look at that. We are dragging that and making that really nice and beautiful. Let's go to where it says saturation. Maybe just increase the saturation there a little bit. And I want to increase the saturation in the sky. I think this is looking so nice. All around, just a really great edit. Let's go ahead and take a look at our before and after. We're going to hit the slash key right above enter or return. There's our before and there's the after. You can see a lot of editing capabilities with this photograph. I think it's looking really good. So let's go ahead and take a look at our JPEG image. So we're going to hit G for our grid view. And now we're going to click here and hit D for our develop module. Okay. With our JPEG, we can still do masking. We can still work with exposures, but we're not going to have as much capability. All right. So let's go ahead and start. I have a sky here, and you know what? I want to bring some more blue to the sky. So we're going to go ahead and click here on our masking. We're going to go to where it says select sky right here. There we go. It's going to select the sky. And then right over here, what I like to do is where it says color temperature. Remember, this is kind of like adding a cooling filter because this is just a JPEG. So we're going to add a little bit of a cooling filter here, and you're going to see it's going to bring some blue back into that sky. Okay, and that's looking really good. Let's go ahead and create a new mask. I enjoy creating these radial gradients and then just click and drag right around the subjects. And I like making them a little bit bigger. It gives a more natural result to the end photo. So again, we're going to adjust this exposure here, but like I really like the last image with the girl and the horse, that raw image, you could go way up. But see what happens here with the JPEG is you start losing a lot of information and it starts to look really bad. So you only want, if you're working with a JPEG, you only get to do subtle adjustments. It's still better than nothing, but subtle adjustments are definitely the way to go. All right, there we go. And I think that's looking good. Now we're gonna go ahead and get off of our masks, and I wanna go into our color mixer one more time. And we're gonna basically work with our colors. So our hue, you can click and drag up and down, same way like you would with your raw image. Okay, this works pretty well. I wanna take our luminance, and we're just gonna click here and make this a little bit brighter. There we go. So we're making those greens a little bit brighter, and all in all, I think this is looking great. So you still have the ability to do a lot of beautiful work with a JPEG, but when it comes to changing your exposure, adjusting your light and dark information, you're not going to be able to adjust it as much because you're going to start to lose information. And the other big thing is you're not going to be able to choose your white balance after the fact. Okay, now I want to hit the slash key here. Let's go ahead and get back to basics here. We're going to hit the slash key above enter or return. So there's the before and there's the after. So you can see, like, yes, we were able to edit this, and I do feel like it's an improvement, but that's about as far as I would feel comfortable pushing a JPEG before it starts to like degrade in image quality. Whereas this image here, let's just go back to our develop module by hitting D. There's our before and our after. Look how far we were able to push that. Now, I did some work with this. I changed this like a little bit too yellow. So I'm gonna go back into this color mixer here. Okay, and we're just gonna go here and I'm just gonna change this back a little bit closer to where it was when it started. I think I like that a little bit more. You know, sometimes when you edit, you'll do something and you're like, yeah, that looks great. And then you'll look at it 5 minutes later and you're like, what was I thinking? This was one of those cases. But no worries, because all of these edits that I make are non-destructive. Here I have my history panel where I can go back and see every single update that I've made. And I can even go back to my original and then back to where we're at right now. So I really think this is fantastic. So the big lesson here is I would recommend photographing with your camera in RAW. Really the only downside is going to be your file size. So let's go ahead and take a look at file size here. So I have, these are the actual images that are included in their download. You can download these and follow along with it. It's totally free. Just click on the link right down below. Okay. So we have our JPEG here, and you can see that's 2.2 megabytes. And then we have our raw image here, and this is going to be 41.8 megabytes. So you might look at that and be like, wow, that's a lot bigger. That seems worse. But what I encourage you to do is like say, wow, that's a lot bigger. Look at how much more information must be in that file, right? It's literally like, 20 times as much information, like 2 megabytes versus 40 megabytes, right? So that's a lot more information. So the next time you're out there, maybe you take some photos that are underexposed, you're gonna be able to bring those back and make them look beautiful in post-production. Maybe your white balance is off, maybe it's too blue or too yellow. You're gonna make that perfect in post-production. So go ahead, make sure you're capturing raw images, and you're gonna see you have a lot more editing capabilities in Lightroom. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you tomorrow for more great Lightroom knowledge. Bye everyone.